Hello everyone, this is Drake Havoc, finally back on YouTube with a fresh new video, and I think this is going to be a fun one. Now, I've been looking forward to Borderlands 3 ever since its official reveal, having been a fan of the series since the beginning, and I'm looking forward to news regarding Flak the Beastmaster even more so. Sadly, Flak has wound up being the last Vault Hunter to be shown, and as of now nothing has been officially revealed about their gameplay. Unofficially, however, SupMatto was recently able to capture screenshots of thumbnails for a hidden Twitch stream being done by Gearbox, presumably testing the Twitch extensions, that featured a number of previously unknown things, including a look at one of Flak's skill trees. For full information about what was discovered from this stream and the captured images, I will put a link in the description to SupMatto's original video on the subject, but for my video, I'd like to focus on the screenshots of Flak's skill tree and viewpoint to see what we can discover about how Flak plays, which isn't much, but what is there is absolutely juicy. Also, forgive the quality of these images. The screenshots had to be captured from a phone because that was the only way SupMatto could get a hold of them. Anyways, no more waffling, let's get into the analysis. Here is one of the leaked thumbnail images from the stream, and right off the bat we see something incredible. Right there at the top, Flak has two skills, his action skill and his pet, which is what is highlighted right now. As we can see, it is called the Jabber Sidekick, and while we can see more text describing this particular skill, I'd like to actually draw your attention to the bottom right, where we see how Flak equips his skills. As you can see, he equips one diamond-shaped pet skill, one hexagon-shaped action skill, and two, there's a word for that shape, but I don't know what it is, basically two augment skills for his action skill. Now this actually surprises me, as I was thinking that Flak would, that his action skill would be the standalone, and that the pet would actually be augmented by the augment skills. I thought that Flak would augment his pets through his augment skills, and they would be universally usable throughout the whole tree, like Amara's are. However, clearly that's not the case. Instead, the augments affect the action skill, which I guess makes sense. That is what the augments are supposed to do. I just thought it'd be a little more interesting if Flak's augments affected the pets. But nevertheless, let's start looking at the skill tree. We'll start by reading what the Jabber Sidekick stuff says. And I know it's a little hard to read. It's probably going to get worse when YouTube compresses the video and all. I'll try and read it to the best of my ability. Flak is joined by a loyal Jabber companion armed with a pistol. While accompanied by the Jabber, Flak's movement speed is increased. Hold F, and this is keyboard controls, which on the keyboard F is the action skill button, so hold the action skill button to issue an action command, which will cause the Jabber to throw a radiation barrel at enemies. Movement speed plus, I can't quite make out that number. I think it looks like a 3, but it might be a 5. It's a bit hard to tell. We'll obviously learn more later, but anyways, moving on. That is the Jabber Sidekick. So right now we can see how his pets are commanded by holding the action skill button instead of just pressing it, and we can also see that each pet gives a different boost. The Jabber gives a movement speed boost, and I would assume that the other pets give different boosts to different stats. Moving on, let's examine the tree itself. So obviously we have the normal passive skills that you just put points into, etc., as we've done in every game. However, you can also see that there are 4 augment skills down the left side of the tree and 2 additional diamond pet skills on the right. Now, I would presume this is how you level up your pets, as well, not level up, but like alter, I should say. We've known that Flak's pets will be alterable in some way. As you go through the skill trees, they'll be able to turn into more powerful forms. We see the Jabber here has orange fur, but in the We Are Mayhem trailer, it was white furred and snowy. So presumably these skills are alternate variants of the pet, similar to how Amara can swap out her action skills for different variants of the same action skill, or how Mose can swap out the weapons on her Iron Bear for different weapons as she goes down the tree. Now, obviously, we can't make out what the different types of pets are because this is just a screenshot, but I would bet that the top one, the white one, is probably related to snow jabber in some way. It just seems like that's what they're gonna do, because we've seen the white jabber, the snow jabber in the We Are Mayhem trailer. I think we've seen it elsewhere as well, and so yeah, I'm 90% certain that that's what that pet skill is. Now that's all we can glean from this picture, so let's look at the next. Here we have a picture from Flak's point of view, and there's not really much. We have a gun, we have the Skag pet, and just as a side note, it's called Mr. Chew here, which is just adorable. But there are a couple things that are just barely visible at the bottom. We can see above Flak's shield and health bar is a third bar, which is presumably for Flak's pet right there, Mr. Chew. Mr. Chew has his own health bar, which is unique because in the past pet classes, Gage and Jack the Doppelganger, they didn't have health bars for their summons. They had a meter in the center of the screen, which, as you can see, is not here. Furthermore, down at the bottom right, where the action skill is, we can see Flak is equipped with an action skill, and then to the left of that, we also see the pets. Now, neither skill seems to be active at the moment, yet we can clearly see the Skag is running right in front of him. Now, this Skag could be a pet for someone else that's playing alongside, that's off-screen. It's hard to tell because we can't really get a good look at the map with all the text in the way. But I don't think that's the case. I think this Skag belongs to this Flak, and as you can see, neither of Flak's skills down there are active, not the pet and not the action skill. So this actually tells me that the pet, though the pet is active, the skill isn't, which tells me that there is no timer to this pet. This pet will just be around all the time, except when it dies, of course, because it does have a health bar, in which case I think the pet action skill icon down here is actually going to go on a recharge to let you know how long it takes before the pet is revived, and you can pull it back out again. That's what I think, at least. It could be different. It could easily be different, really, but that's what I think. Now, let's look at this one last picture that was not actually part of the original leak. This came after SupMatto did his video, so if you check out his video, you won't see it then, but it's the same skill tree from before, but now we see it's actually on one of the passive skills, Turn, Tail, and Run. This is a passive, and this one is fortunately a bit easier to read, so we can see that it's a passive ability, of course. It requires 10 more points in the tree to unlock, because of course it is a tier 3 skill. It can take up to 3 points into the skill, and here is the description. While moving, Flak constantly regenerates health and gains damage reduction. While still, Flak gains gun damage and fire rate. Next rank, health regeneration while moving, 0.3% of max health per sec. Damage reduction while moving, plus 6.5%. Gun damage while still, 8.3? Could be 8.5. Again, it's hard to tell. And fire rate while still, plus 4%. Now, we obviously can't get a look at the rest of the tree, but just from that alone, I get the sense that this is a tree for sniping. This is also helped by the fact that this particular tree is called the Stalker tree. The action skill seems to be the invisibility skill Fade Away that we've seen Flak use in the trailers, which, of course, if you know anything about invisibility tropes, it tends to be used by melee characters and snipers. And then here we have Turn, Tail, and Run. This, just from these couple things, this is really sounding to me like a sniper, like a tree for a sniper character. And we do have other evidence of Flak being a sniper. In quite a few trailers, we see Flak holding what appears to be some form of sniper rifle. So I'm guessing that this particular tree has a sniper bent to it, and it may not like specifically augment sniper rifles specifically, as of course Turn, Tail, and Run clearly works for any gun. But if you know anything about how gunplay works in Borderlands, it most benefits sniper rifles because snipers are the most likely characters to be standing still while firing. And finally, as one tiny last little thing, we can see down at the bottom, FL4K has a action skill equipped, but it is not the fade away skill here. Unfortunately, it's too blurry to see, to make out any sort of shape. It could be his rack action skill. It could be his gamma burst skill. It's hard to say. Based on the color, I would guess it's a gamma burst, but that's just color. It doesn't mean anything. We also see, of course, an augment skill on it, which is the same color as the action skill, which leads me to believe that action skills and their augments are tree-specific, like Zane's are, and like Mose's are, but really that's all that we can get from this last image. So there you have it. This is everything I've been able to extrapolate from the leaked images regarding FL4K. Once again, a big thank you to SupMatto for finding this information and putting it out there. And if you like Borderlands and want to stay up to date with news regarding it, then I highly recommend you check out his channel. For now though, that's going to be it from me. Thank you anyone and everyone who watched this video. If you liked it, then please consider giving it a like and or subscribing to my channel, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye bye.